Hello everyone, my name is Connor Asher and we are now live. Welcome. I'm excited to talk a little bit about the Puppet Chain Letter project. Some of you might have seen I was live yesterday. We have Sydney behind the camera helping me out today to show off a bit of what I'm doing here today. So if you'd like to watch that video, you can watch it on Instagram Live, or you can go to YouTube just to see the project unboxed and I talk a little bit about it. To recap, this project is with Swazzle Puppet Studio. And what the intention is, we're all of these talented builders from across the country. It started in LA, was sent to New York, and is now on its way back to LA. Each of these puppet builders do one step of the puppet until we get a completed puppet. And then in the end, that puppet will be auctioned off to help benefit the direct relief fund for puppet artists through the Puppeteers of America. I'm one of the puppeteers that they have helped, and it's a really wonderful cause, so I'm excited to help give back to them in some way, and am super grateful to Swazzle for this. So let's jump into it. So to recap, let's show off the puppet here. Swazzle started with creating the mouth palette for the puppet. Jamie Bresler in New York worked on the foam carved head. And then Adam Krudinger built this beautiful foam puppet body. It was my job to be in charge of the arms and hands for the foam. And so last night I decided to finish all of it. So it's all done, it's ready to go. And I'd like to show you a bit of my thought process into the design behind the arms and the step-by-step process. I photographed some pictures. I thought it would be a little too time-consuming to share all of that live and to do all that work. So it's all done. Let's go through it. So the first step was designing all of the patterns. This was the end pattern that I designed in Illustrator, which is where I create all of my puppet patterns. I did a couple test mock-ups. So here, let's jump back to the table. Actually, I started with a couple sketches. I looked up a lot of different reference images online to get some ideas of what can possibly be done about the design, to get something that wouldn't solidify the design down to where it's stuck, but it was open to interpretation to where this puppet can still be anything. There is no exact design down. So every puppet artist gets to interpret this puppet however they would like. And so that was my initial sketch. I did a couple test patterns. This, I think, was my first test pattern. The arms were a little shorter than I wanted, so I extended them out and fixed those up to get this guy here. And then this here is the palm plate. So let's move on here. So the next step, so after creating all the patterns, I printed them out, of course. Then I took this palm plate and brought it into Tinkercad. And so I decided to 3D print out the palm plates. And that's the finished product there. And same, if you want to turn around, they're actually in there right now in a secondary one. Perfect. So the palm plates I 3D print. I used to do them all by hand, but this saves so much more time and it just works out better. So after 1 or 2 test prints, that was solid and worked. I then cut out the foam and tried it out on the puppet to see how it would exactly look, and I liked the shape. So here was tracing and cutting out the arms and hands. That one's a little harder to see because all of the Sharpie is yellow. I like to use yellow so it doesn't bleed through the fabric option. And after the palm plates were printed out, I added armature wires so that the fingers could be posable, and attached, parachute cord, and threaded that through the arms so that the arms could be attachable and removable at the same time. I then created rod pockets so that the arm rods could go into them, and then all of this was glued together in our ventilation booth. So, let's show off the finished arms. Here is the big reveal. So, this is one of the arms here. You can see the pocket on the outside, so it's super easy to get into. All the fingers are posable. So we can get the puppet pointing. And then, as I said, the parachute cord is threaded through from the wrist all the way up to here, so this can be tied inside of the puppet's body. So, since this is all done, I'm going to go ahead and attach this to the body. So let me set the head aside here. And let's do this. So the way that I do this, there are these wonderful puppet joint discs that I made. You can buy these through our Etsy store. And they're pretty uniform. They fit usually normal size puppet hands. This one I had to bring down a bit in size, but this one worked fine. So something I did with the body, I heated up and drilled through here to create the holes so that these can be threaded through. So we'll thread those through. And now on the inside, let's see.
It's too dark.
Too dark. Okay.
Just tilt it up a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, it's not too important right now because it's all black in there. But we'll take the other joint disc, thread both of these through, and then create a knot. I'm going to leave this relatively loose just because the other puppet builders will need to be able to get into here to work, and we'll probably take off the arms, but just temporarily to show you how it works. So we're going to attach these arms, we're going to put on the arm rods, and we're going to see how this puppet looks. So that's one. And we're going to do another. So, same old process. Thread them through. It's pretty self-explanatory where they line up. We'll take another joint disc. Thread that through. And voila, the arms are attached. So the next thing, we have these lovely arm rods, which self-promotion. If you go to our Etsy store, you can buy these arm rods for yourself. You don't need to make them.
What is our Etsy store name?
What's our Etsy store name? It's Creventive Puppet Company. If you look up at Creventive, that is my own personal business through Puppetry, and we sell our professional puppet arm rods through there. So, what we're going to do, we have the pockets. And the way that I like to do, I like to keep this side at the back towards the wrist. And to set those in, of course, it's going to be covered later on. But to set those in, I like to use straight pin. Sometimes it takes a little practice, especially trying to show this on camera. Sorry.
It's all good.
There we go. That's one.
All right.
All right. Let's do another. So we'll take our other arm rod. Same old process. We're gonna put it right into the rod pocket. Excuse me. Same thing. We'll set it in with a pin. Thanks. So there we go. So arms are on. Let's do a quick little test to see how they work out. So I'll put the body on. Dominant hand goes through, and we'll put the head on. Right now there is no neck sleeve, so it's not all attached, and the height can change. But there is. Let me fix up his fingers a bit. His or her fingers, who knows?
Hi there. Hi. Get a little sneezy with it around people. Get nervous.
So, yeah. Then, like I said, you can pose the fingers. So we can point. We can gesture.
All right. We're gonna have a little disco party here. Wonderful. Oh, sorry.
Gross.
All right. So, that's it. My part of the puppet chain letter is done. I'm going to put this in the box and ship it out. I got it almost 24 hours ago, and it's done. So. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I'm happy with how
It's a very
turned out.
inspiring delivery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the last step is this here. Swazzle sent out a certificate of authenticity. Sorry. And so each puppet builder gets to sign their step of the process. I already did mine earlier just to get that part done out of the way. But next up, we have Pasha Romanowski from Project Puppet, who will be working on covering this head, which is going to be a big challenge. So good luck, Pasha. But anyway, this project is super exciting. If you would like to follow along and see the puppet completed, please follow this hashtag on Instagram and all the other social media places, mainly Instagram, at hashtag Puppet Chain Letter. And thank you again to Swazzle Puppet Studio for bringing me in. Thanks, guys. If you have any questions, leave them below. This video will be up later on my own personal Instagram, as well as YouTube. So if you want to watch it later, you can. Thanks so much. Time to go box up a puppet.